The climbers, they and their hills. They come rowdily at weekends, drive in cars. They talk of God, the universe, of women. They tumble from their beds in the morning. They blow in and out. They have their phrases they wrap themselves about with. They cleave along paths sweating and heave themselves up their special places, their few tracks among the mountains. People have asked me how I climb. It will be best to describe a given instance. I will not weary you with the preliminaries. There were none. Everything had been in order. The customary had occurred. I had come here for the weekend to climb, had got up, dressed, eaten a good breakfast with a good appetite, and having no one to climb with, had gone out for the day alone. I had considered carefully which cliff to visit and chosen one not to make too strenuous a day. This involved walking along a track and then a slope up towards the cliff. The slope I took by stages, 300 yards, then a rest, 300 yards, then a rest. During the last war, it was explained to me that a British soldier marched by stages, and it has been my chief method since. It is easier. Some people prefer to go up hills at a steady 10 miles an hour, as if they were an army tank cruising, or Scott hauling sledges in the Antarctic. I do not. During each rest, I gazed at the cliff, exploring from a distance how a route might go. Then, when quite near the cliff, I stopped again and looked up at it more slowly, heavy with the fresh air. It looked at me, and it slid about my eyes as a cliff sometimes does, and was difficult to focus. I shall go there, and there, I thought. And then, perhaps coming to the steeper portion, I shall go there. Or perhaps it will be too hard for me to go there. Then I shall not go there, but will go there instead by what appears, so far as can be seen from here, to be a dirty and burr-sided finger crack, but which may not be so. Or otherwise, examining the rock closely, when we are there, rubbing the nose against it, there may be some third or fourth way, not guessed at from a distance. But at first I thought, husbanding my energies, I will rest here for a little time, where stability can still be assured without effort or trouble by sitting down. So in the middle of the mountains, upon a pile of rocks, I sat. A certain tendency to inertia in the mind can have a great force. Then later I got up and walked to the foot of the hill, meditating carefully where to start. Then tied the rope on, flung the loose end down the slope, and arranged it so that its coils should open without snags. This took some time due to a complex cluster of small rocks in the way, which needed rearranging before I could be sure that the rope would come clean across them. Then I moved on to the rock itself. You rock. You heaviness a man can clasp. You steady buttress block for hold. You frozen roughly to the touch. Yet what can you? Can you stand over me suffused and treading lightly for my love? Or when I yearn for you, can you recover? Or can you seem best? Oh, you can be praises for my grasp. If thins the heart, you can be cold. Or if resolved, you too can such, canst add to me. Look how the wind is treading, fleet along the lake. She ripples down the mountain waters of the heart, crossing, recrossing on the breast. Do not mistake me. The choice of cliff and pastime had been free. It was unhampered by any conditions, either of expediency or friendship. There was no particular unhappiness on me at this time beyond the normal. I sat down, and as I lifted my head, stones, blocks of rock, sky, cliff faces lay round the field of vision, arranged in various ways. Now perhaps you looking on might remark at these actions that none of them had been done in any rapid or decisive mode. You would be right. Perhaps that is why there was no great resultant from them. After 20 minutes, I had advanced about 50 feet and was trembling slightly, not too sure of my position. The rock now before my face was ordinary rock, surfaced at an angle of 60 to 70 degrees, fairly smooth. Heaven was above, the earth beneath, and I remember nothing of either. As for myself, the forepart of my right foot was planted well on a square ledge. The heel overhung into the air and demanded a constant muscular effort at the calf. My left foot was 3 feet higher and 1.5 feet to the side, put against a small sloped piece of grooving. In appearance, therefore, had anyone been passing, I was about to step up. In practice, I had been trying to do this for 10 minutes, but had not yet succeeded. It seemed simple. The need was clear. Holes were there, but they were small. And I am not a man in any way to make a move until satisfied that it is safe, so that to remain in this statuesque and silly position was my only choice for the time being. But any man must be to some degree hard-pressed before he gives up on a point where his heart is set. So I began to struggle. Oh, good heavens. Good heavens, I thought. What on earth am I going to do? This is not very good. You're being a coward, an arrant coward. And this cannot, must not continue. I've time and time again pointed out to you that you're being very silly, but you do nothing. You do nothing except stand with that fixed and ridiculous stare in the middle of this wretched precipice. But I still accomplish nothing. Then I thought perhaps if I eat my sandwiches, that will improve me. But no, for shame. It is not yet 11:30. How can I eat them now? Yet there can be no harm in it. Give yourself a change, I said. Eat them all, and that will be a load off your mind. Then you will not have the temptation to eat again until you get home. So, standing still on my footholds and feeling firmer than I had done for some time, I got out the tin of sardines from my pocket, twisted the lid off in the usual way, but carefully, because of the position, and ate the fish one by one with my mouth. This took some time. Now, how will it go, I thought. Every excuse is exhausted. And I tried again. No. It is not good, I said. It is no good. It is difficult to describe the extreme desolation that may be left behind in the human brain when it is without anything in it to spur it on. I stood on that hold for a long time. Then quickly, with the sweat standing out of my skin and my heart beating, I moved up to the next holds, and then the next. And then I did not see what to do, and the movement stopped again. The view had changed. There were bigger holes now in front of my eyes. I reached a higher hold for my left hand. It seemed firm, but when pulled, it snapped and broke off. A bad material. I made a final effort. Look at yourself, I said. And do you know what this is? That it is schizophrenia, the split mind. I know, but I do not care what I said. It is stupid. What could you do if you did get 10 feet higher up? The rocks have not yet started to become difficult. Take yourself off this cliff, or this climbing that involves an effort on every move, the holes to be spotted, and often there are none. Then every limb placed, the body set into the one suitable position, found but with trouble. Then with the whole organism, great force must be exerted before anything happens. And this is to be done while the brain is occupied, sick and stiff with its fears. And now you have been doing this for well over an hour and a half, and the strain must be telling. Get down, therefore. My mind made up, it only remained to go. Not always an easy thing to do, but, as it has often been remarked, God may be merciful, and is so sometimes when you least expect it. And on this occasion, it happened that I almost immediately found a good enough spike of rock for my rope, and was able to get down again in no danger. Then I walked a little way down the hillside, slowly, and rested. Pause. Stand on the scree edge and look back. You who too hastily watch carefully again. There is the cliff, its eastern incline steep with furrows there and there. How well I know them. When we were climbing there. Do you remember how from that tiny earthwork, you remember stretching, then upon the slab, how powerful the fingers. Then on that other day, rocks wet everything, how on that bare wall on the right, where from the stands a craftsman riskily, and there again, still on that eastern slope, day after day repeats. Day after day the clouds pass over, or the wind occurs, or snow. Sparse growth on it, on this dull cliff, dead or asleep or living. But the thoughts return. Or am I mourning for the dead? And is it you? You, where that stream of sunlight shows the texture? You? Watch carefully again. There it is steep and solid. There, broken wall. Here, over on the left, you. It is you. You only. And on your form the dusts will come. Thy walls do lichen grow. On with your coat, walk jauntily. Turn your back, be gone over the springy turf. So should we celebrate departure. But the resilience of man is great, and his ingenuity. So I was not done yet, and on the way back, setting to work, I soon picked up my pride in this way, by thinking, today the victory has been to the devil, but tomorrow it is not to him yet. Also by thinking, it has been said that the secret of life is in detachment from it. Good.